Hey, what's going on, everyone? Astrologer Eric Rosen, also Akashic Records reader, breathwork facilitator, hypnotherapy, celestial shaman energy work, all the jazz to get you jazzed up. I'm here to pop in to talk to you about a few things. First and foremost, astrology readings are where it's at because it's going to give you the insight to get you unstuck and get you on your path. I know you feel the pressure of Pluto at the end of Capricorn. It's also in the 60th gene key gate where it's like, it can feel stuck, right? Restrictions, but it's like, how do we nurture that stuckness so that we can move the fuck forward and actually create the divine blessings that were meant to come into our life, right? So I've been feeling that very acutely with Pluto on my sun. It's a big deal, you know, this transition of Pluto into Aquarius, but you know, we almost have to put that out of mind for a few more days because we're still in that consciousness of the evolutionary energy of Pluto where it wants to turn the structures inside out to see like, oh wait, this was the thing that was fucking me over, this thing was blocking me. So where's Pluto at in your chart? If you know, drop it in the comments. If you need some help, come do an astrology reading. I'm here to help people solidify their legacy, that we're not here to play small, not going into these next few years. Yes, bring your fears, bring your concerns. I'm here to be empathetic and listen to it and find out what's really repressing and holding you back, and to nurture you into that empowerment to innovate, because my son's literally in the 60th gate in the gene keys. So if you want to get in on that, pop a link down below. But I really want to talk today about the depths of this astrology, because we're coming out of the full moon energy in Taurus, which is all about how do we innovate our expressions of our worth and take sustainable steps towards a positive future. This is definitely to get us on the right track, especially because Saturn's in its stationary stop position. It's stopped. It's going to be going forward. So as it's now moving forward, as it's now out of that retrograde period, we're finally out of that 4-month malarkey of deep karmic stuckness and sloppiness, and so we can move forward. There is a square over to Jupiter though, and so this also deals with communication. Even the 60th gate that Pluto is in deals with communication, of like using almost like articulate, playful, innovative ways of language, you know, but there's also the language of the mind, of our thinking, but how we express ourselves. And so with the South Node in Libra, it can be really easy to want to justify the way that we speak because it's based upon an opinion, maybe even based upon, you know, a rigid belief system. That's of course a common one, but it's like, how do we become more curious and accept that no one knows, no one has all the evidence of what it's going to take to innovate like our lives. Like it's a very moment to moment thing right now, especially Pluto at the end of Capricorn. It's like, it's literally like a soul level survival of achievement, of like top notch, end of the road type vibes, where it might seem like the only way to go back is down, you know, to like go down or to go down the elevator, especially with the full moon on Uranus on Algol and a Uranus retrograde, that like we have to like take the elevator down. Maybe there's some steps that we skipped in terms of finances, money, relationships, you know, building your worth and skill set. Pluto always brings up where you at on the ladder. So, and that's okay, but it's like the energy is always ripe every moment. That's the nice thing about it. You know, it's like, you know, it's like if you're in America, it's like, imagine RFK Jr. already overhauled things over the next 4 years with like the food situation, and it's like, it's not cereal anymore, and it's like fresh organic fucking gala apples or something, and pears and shit and grapes, you know, that our energetic destiny is ripe for the picking. It's really about being in right relationship with our own auric field, so that we're not just like going through the motions in life, because that full moon energy, you know, brought up the physicality of things in Taurus, but a vibrational element with Uranus, and then Pluto brings up this also deeper, just, like gotta find the tenacity within ourselves to persevere and keep going in terms of the physical. So we've got to like have passion, we've got to have soul. Mars in its shadow in Leo, like we've got to find that courage of the joy of expression. It's North Node in Aries, with that, Mars, it's like starting to make is making aspects over to it. So it's a masculine identification piece. Like you have to show up. Like this is not, we can't snooze like on this energy. Like we can't like roll over and go back to sleep and be like, I'll just wait till Neptune goes direct or something and then I'll be spiritual or then I'll have the dream. And it's like, no, just because Neptune's retrograde hanging out the end of Pisces and can be a snooze fest for people, or brings up like a waiting, type energy. This is more so where we have to shuffle up and deal and gamble on like, what is the solidification of what our value systems are? And it's like, take some time to reflect on what are the things that you're actually thinking about and doing the most, like every day, because that's where your current operational values are at. But if you're not feeling happy, fulfilled, successful, that's where it's the obvious nature of the things that you want to have happen in your life. You need to start doing more of those steps and thinking about those things more, as that is a form of, manifestation. It can be a little echo chambery, which I know that's such a buzzword right now, but whatever, fuck it. It's like you can still start to let the universe like know like what's in your reality, especially if your thoughts are neutral or even positive about it, that can, allow you to surrender into more of a auric field that's aligned, because innovation is key, right? And so human design to me is a huge form of innovation, because it moves on from that conditioned beliefs of how we express ourselves, how we speak, how we talk, how we think, how we strategize in life. This is a big deal to see how do we go in new frontiers of directions that, maybe still need some balance, right? But it's weird because the balance almost comes more so from how do you find a crutch before you fall or crash vibrationally, to where if you find yourself falling into like lower negative energy or a lower timeline, that at least you're taking a step forward to put yourself in a more positive environment, to change up the energy, to keep going, to keep surviving, to keep showing up, and to not just like be defeated, not just lay out, this is not good energy for like an all or nothing dreamscape energy, unless you know how to hold that courage and that vibration. And so it's like, hold that, but then also don't pigeonhole yourself into, if the hopes, the dreams don't come true, that you fucking lost and then it's a failure, and then your vibe tanks and then you're not vibrationally aligned with it, and then you're not even taking an action step that's maybe more of a medium, based timeline. So we're constantly making choices every day, and that is shifting our timeline. I wish I could tell you it was just one ayahuasca ceremony or one astrology reading or one meditation, that shifts everything for people, but it's not. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts. The death ego transformation happens by the words that you're writing with your thoughts, that you're speaking into existence, the conversations you're having or not having with people, the environments that you're in is a huge one. Not just like the energy of the environment, but especially like the physicality of the place and the tribe, the community that you're around with this full moon on Uranus and Taurus. So, the opportunities are ablaze, now that the full moon is passing. It's like Mission Impossible stuff. Like we got our orders, and it can really feel like Mission Impossible, like with the full moon on Uranus. Like, how's that supposed to work? How's that, that's a tall order. There's a lot of uncertainty. Like there's a lot that could go wrong in the meantime, and that's where we have to get our thoughts vibration in alignment. But even more so, like where we're not even letting the mind so much lead the charge with Mercury in its shadow in Sagittarius. That's going to start to oppose Jupiter, where it's too overwhelming to use the mind alone. So it's more so using it as, the inspector energy of the data that can be overwhelming, but to use the soul's vitality of that sun in Scorpio that's going to be opposing Uranus to go, okay, yeah, there's a lot to figure out, but I've got the mysticism within me and the hunger to like just see and be the seer, like the one that sees in the dark of what the next step is. And so this is not a time for just, taking monotonous steps to just survive in your life. It's like there has to be passion infused within it, because if that's present, it's not even so much about the perfection, the perfect poetry of the activity. It's more about you being in a right vibrational alignment and how you show up. And so that attracts, better people, that attracts better situations. You just show up differently, you come across differently. And so this is, important. This is phone calls with, friends, family, this is work situations, your business, if you're, your job situation around money. It's like, this is not about overthinking a money situation or relationship situation or even, sense of purpose. It was never about the overthinking, but it's especially now about purging the conditioning, purging the beliefs of how you think that it should go, or especially how it should have went too, is a big one. It's like Saturn has very much been teaching us with those last few days that it was retrograde before it went direct, which is now, of like, you just gotta let that shit go. You gotta let that past go. It weighs us down, scary town. Mentioned astrology readings also. If you want to get that astrology ebook to just study your natal chart, it's $33. And of course, you can check out the Destiny Tug of War special, How to Not Play Small. It's a real thing. It's already happening. Even though a lot of it covers the astrology of 2025, it's covering what's already happening, which is the preemptive strike that we can all get on. And I feel like only a small percentage of people is going to get in and on that, because maybe there's some hesitancy out there. That South Node in Libra, especially those nodes that were square in Venus. It's like the prosperity, the beauty of life, all the good things that you want is not in hesitation land. Fortune favors the bold. And also, just a side note too, I know this might be some projection of maybe my values, but it's like, I get it. It's nice to see the things happening in America, the shifts politically, and people that were like getting excited for the boxing fight and just shit like that. But just remember to put your passion into like your own personal scape of life, your own dreamscape of what you're creating. And there's an illusion of safety of like bandwagoning on things with people. To remember to have your own voice. This is a really important time to have your own expression of your own voice, your own values. And it's not to, you definitely don't want to use your energy to shove those values into someone's face or try to, debate or persuade, but it's more so just like go in your direction, and it's probably going to look different than everyone else's direction. And there's going to be times where maybe it weaves creatively, if it feels fun and exhilarating, into like the status quo bandwagon stuff of it. So it's not being a rebel for the sake of being a rebel. That would be kind of like the Uranus on Algol thing, a little bit too much, of like going against the collective because you think that they're bad or negative or something like that. So it's about live and let live, getting along with everyone, but you're getting along with everyone because you feel fulfilled and you have passion in your life. Let's see what we got card-wise. Look at that shit. Beautiful earth energies. Got the Taurus Cultivate card and the Capricorn Achievement card. And again, of course, they're backwards. I'll change up my tech one day. But for now, I mean, this literally this is me actually. This is my first house Taurus, and this is where my son's at in Capricorn. But, you know, Pluto making aspects to Uranus, even though they're not strong. And I mean, that full moon energy did build and make aspects to Pluto. So this is definitely about cultivating and achieving your destiny. I'm just going to say it, your spiritual destiny, which is what is it that you're building in this physical, you know, reality. And it's not about the attainment chase piece, you know, so much like the thirst of it. It's way more about how is it that your soul is just infusing naturally into a state of wonder, of curiosity, of what's the next best thing to do in my life, is really the self-inquiry that I think is meant to come through, and to not try to get some perfect plan, or especially don't keep pushing like doors that don't want to open, or push like things that like won't work. It's way more about, it's the art that you're creating a life. But remember, you're the art, you're the vibration, and that everything that you're creating is an extension of just that soulful energy embodied. And I know that can come and go, and that's okay, and those power losses can happen, but we don't have to wish or think that the other shoe's gonna drop anymore, things that are gonna go negative. Like, there's enough positivity and optimism that we can have, but it's not about, you know, waiting for something to come tomorrow. It's more so like knowing that you're okay, that like life's working out, like it's gonna work out. And if it feels like it's not, it's the part where you hold yourself back, you know, from your own grief, your emotions, your guilt, your, you know, could even be your own shadiness of your own self-deception, of convincing and persuading yourself that you need to wait for something, or wait for the right moment, or there's a relationship in the way, or a money situation in the way, right? Like these are things that always, you know, are common human stuff, but they really get highlighted right now, that it's not about the physical reality like rescuing you or throwing you some lifeline. I keep just like imagining the stuff that came up in the past few years with like stimulus checks and just unemployment and just, you know, all these just different things. And it's like, even with the excitement that people have like for the economy in the US, like Trump taking office and shit like that, you know, we have to be our own economical backbone and not our own economical barrier, you know, where we actually like allow ourselves to express and be vulnerable and connect with people and do the great things that we love to just do, and go do it. Love you all. See you on the next horoscope.